Perfect. Well, thank you everyone for joining. And the recording will be available on our YouTube page. I've been uploading it there. So if anyone was not able to join us today, it should be free and available going forward. I don't have any expiration dates or anything. So this is the Blue Earth Nicollet County networking meeting, although we've kind of just, it's more so a conversation about any resources in our kind of 9-county area, just to connect and talk about what events are maybe coming up, other program changes, programs that our clients can connect to, and so on and so forth. So I did want to ask, I know that with the holidays in December, we had talked about moving it to the second Wednesday in December instead, to avoid that holiday week. I didn't know, it sounds like some individuals have conflicts with this meeting time on that third Wednesday every third month. And I wasn't sure how people would feel about moving it to the second Wednesday, just so it was a standard, every second Wednesday, every 3 months, quarterly, that we had this meeting, so that it maybe worked around other meetings. But I can definitely keep it as is if it's preferred. I just seem to get a lot of emails from individuals saying that this time is already reserved for another meeting. So if anyone has strong feelings towards that, you can definitely let me know. I will keep asking around to see how that sounds to other individuals, but we will just kind of go from there unless somebody has strong feelings one way or the other. And again, I will continue to record them. So our guest speaker today is Katie with our MVAC Head Start program. So the first 20 to 30 minutes or so, I'll let Katie take it away, chat about her programs, and then we'll open it up for roundtable to talk about any agencies who are represented here today, updates. So Katie, you can go ahead and share your screen or whatever you need to do.
All right. So I'm going to attempt to share the screen. Oh, it's not going to be in the right place. So let's try it anyway. It's got the Zoom popped up. All right. Can you see the Zoom, the thing that says questions, which is not where we want to start?
Yes.
Okay. And if I do this, can you see the PowerPoint?
Yes.
Perfect, because that's where I'd like it to be. So I am Katie Richmeyer. I am currently a family advocate with the Head Start program here in the Mankato area. I have been a home visitor in Blue Earth County, and I have been a classroom teacher in the Mankato, North Mankato area. I have been with Minnesota Valley Action Council for, I think it's going to be about 11 years now. I had almost 10 before, and then I took a break and stayed home with the kids and did some things like that. And then I came back. So that's a little bit about me. I love Head Start. I graduated from Head Start when I was 4, and then I came back as an employee. So I could talk about it all day, every day, but I know that you don't have time for that. So I tried to be kind of concise and narrow it down to the basics in this cute little PowerPoint I found online. So start with the basics. What is Head Start? I tried to think of something really short that would kind of summarize it, but there's a lot of different ways you can look at it. So it is a family-focused child development program. We serve prenatal women and children from birth to kindergarten. It's also an early childhood program that offers support and encouragement to prenatal women and parents of infants, toddlers, and preschoolers. Some people use it as a kindergarten readiness program to help support families to prepare their children for kindergarten and to be successful students and learners. It can also be a support program for families who are struggling, who maybe need some parenting education, who maybe just need some encouragement or someone to show up every week to kind of help them along. And it's a program that helps families connect to basic resources. So community resources, like the things that all of you are offering and connecting to, and making sure that families' basic needs are met. So Head Start is kind of all of those things. A lot of times when people think of Head Start, they think, oh, Head Start, yeah, I know that. That's preschool. I don't have anybody 3 or 4, so move on. And so, or they're like, well, there's so many preschools. Why would we want to pick that one? And so I just kind of had a little thing that would also share what makes Head Start different from other preschool programs? We definitely have a quality early childhood and preschool program. We're parent aware, 4-star rated. If you know anything about childcare, you know that that's as high as it goes, and that's a good thing. We comply with all of the childcare licensing regulations, so like childcare center licensing regulations from the state of Minnesota. We also have a whole book full of what we call performance standards. So those are rules that Head Start puts out that we need to follow to kind of keep things running smoothly, and all of the things we're required to do to make our program safe and a high quality program. The main focus with Head Start that makes it a little bit different is that we focus on building relationships with families. We're kind of fortunate in the Mankato area, at least, that we have a lot of high quality early childhood and preschool programs, and a lot of them do those things, are really good about including families, but that's one of the big focuses with Head Start. We focus on the whole child and the whole family. We're not just focused on what do you need to know to get to kindergarten. We're focused on, did your child get to the doctor for their well child appointment? Are they up to date on their immunizations? Have they been to a dentist yet? We want to make sure that they're getting all of those basic healthcare needs met. We do screenings for development to make sure kids are hitting milestones on track. We do screenings for social emotional development to make sure kids are getting those milestones and those needs are being met. And then we have what we call like a family needs assessment and a family partnership plan, where we have a specific person like myself. I'm a family advocate. I don't work in the classroom anymore. I work with the family to make sure that their needs are being met. If there's anything that's going on that they need support with, that I can be that resource person for them. Another thing that really makes us stand out and be different from typical preschool and early childhood programs is that everything that we offer is free. There is no cost to families. We provide all the supplies they might need in our program. We also believe that parents are the child's first teacher and the most important teacher. A lot of other programs do that as well, but we really make that a priority as far as supporting that development. So in our home-based programs and in our center-based programs, we really focus on empowering the parents to be the teachers at home. We give take-home activities, we have parent engagement activities, ways that parents can connect to school so that they are the ones who are giving information to their children, so that their children really start to look to them and see them as being the people with the answers. And that's important for us because we have them for such a short time. And obviously parents have them for their whole lives. So we want to make sure to help foster some of those healthy relationships as well. We do have different types of programs. We have both home-based programs and services and center-based programs. Some of that depends on what part of our 9-county area you're in as far as what's offered to you. Here in Blue Earth County, we have all of them. Because we're a little bit larger and we have a bigger population to work with, we're able to offer multiple options for different age groups. And the other thing that I think really makes Head Start stand out from other child development programs is we have something called the Parent Policy Council. That's a group of parents that are volunteer and or elected by other members in their child's classroom. We have a ballot between the people who volunteer to do that. And they meet once a month. So I like to explain it to parents. It's kind of like the school board of Head Start, except it's all made up of parents and they're all volunteers. And they do things like they review our policies and procedures. They offer input on how we can change or tweak things. They provide direction to the program. They approve all of our new hires as the final stage of the hiring process. So they really play an important part in our program. We've made changes to policies and procedures in the past and the way that we do things based on conversations and discussions by the policy council and getting feedback from parents in the different programs. So we really value that input. Then because we are a free program, of course, there's going to be a catch, and that is that we do have some eligibility requirements. There's a couple of different ways that kids can qualify for a Head Start program. Partly we determine if they're eligible based on their age. That tells us if they're eligible and what program they might be eligible for. We also consider family income. We do have some income guidelines. And then also family circumstances. There are some circumstances that a family might be having that would qualify them automatically to be part of the program without the income. And so I'll get to a little bit more deeper about those. So as far as age goes, we do serve pregnant women and children under 3 years old. And those folks are eligible for what we call our home-based program. And I'll explain a little bit more about what that means in a slide or two. So then we also have programs for children who are either 3 or 4 on September 1st, or children who turn 3 during the school year. Those kids are eligible for both our home-based programs and our center-based programs. Basically, if you are 5 on September 1st and you are old enough to go to kindergarten, you are too old to go to Head Start, even if you don't choose to go to kindergarten. So if you turn 5 on September 3rd, you would still be eligible for a Head Start program because on the 1st of September, you were 4. So that's how we figure age eligibility. Sometimes kids can change in the middle of the school year. So if they're 2.5 or 2 and 10 months on September 1st, they would start in that home-based programming. After they turn 3, we would need to re-verify their income, and then we can move them into a center-based program if we have space available. Some of the family circumstances that would make a family eligible without having to show any proof of earned income or wages or anything like that would be families that are experiencing homelessness, children in foster care, having a household member who is receiving SSI or disability payments, and then also families that receive public assistance. So if you have a family who's participating in MFIP, DWP, or a SNAP program, we have those families sign a release of information, and then we can verify that with the county that they are living in. And if they verify, yes, they did receive that assistance program this month, then they would automatically be eligible and we wouldn't need to do any kind of income calculations. The income piece is probably the trickiest one because it's different for our different programs. So our program for pregnant women and children up to 3 years old is a state-funded program, which means that the income guidelines are a little bit different. So we always refer to the poverty guidelines, the federal poverty guidelines. Many of you have probably seen that chart and referenced it yourself. I put a picture of it up there just to kind of be a visual for what we're looking for. So children under 3 and pregnant women have to be at that 100% is the top end of what they can earn. So if we're going off of actual earned income, it can only be 100% of income or less. We can't even take an application for our wait list if it's over that dollar amount. So that just has to stop right there, and then we can wait till they turn 3, or they can try again if they become eligible, or if they get accepted into an assistance program or something like that. It seems like a really low guideline. I've had a lot of feedback from people that say, well, that's so low, how do you ever get people? But in the Mankato area last year, our program was full, and we had about 40 kids on our wait list. So the people are out there and they're waiting for the service, and we continue to take the applications and serve as many families as we can. Our programs for children ages 3 to 5, or those 3 and 4 on September 1st, and kids who turn after that, are a little bit different because they're funded by federal grant money. So we can do applications for that program for families of any income. However, there are limits to how many children we can serve that don't qualify for meeting those income guidelines. So we still use that 100% guideline as a mark for being income eligible. And if you are at 100% or lower, you're absolutely eligible for the program. If you're between 100 and 130%, you are considered to be over income, but it's a kind of a special category because we can have a certain percentage of people in that category each year. I think it might be 25% of kids can fall into that range. And then if you're over 130% of the federal poverty guideline, like 131% and above, then you're considered over income. We can still do the application, you can still be on our wait list, but we can never have more than 10% of the total number of children served in that income category. And that goes across the 9 counties. So I think we can serve roughly like 560-ish children. So across all 9 counties, we'd only be able to have 56 children who are in that over income category. And that's dependent upon how many are enrolled. So if we can serve 560, but we only have 460 currently enrolled that are income eligible, then we could only have 46 that are over. So it's kind of a fluid number. I don't have to be really in charge of that math, so I'm thankful for that. I don't have to keep track of where we're at and what's settled, and I email Gail at the office and I ask, and she lets me know. And she keeps tabs on making sure we don't exceed any of those categories. So that's the income part. I know I talk too fast, so if you have questions, you can interrupt me or shoot them at me at the end. Hopefully it's not too quick. So I posted the program options just for Blue Earth County because that was my focus for today, so that you would kind of know what's available to families. If you are thinking of a family that you are working with or a family that might benefit from the program. So in Blue Earth County, from border to border, we offer home-based programming. We have 3 home visitors that are officed in the Mankato area, and we have 1 home visitor who's officed in Mapleton. And between those 4, they cover all of Blue Earth County. So in that program, you would apply, get accepted, and then you'd be connected to a home visitor. I did home visiting for about 10 years. And so it's actually a really wonderful opportunity to support families and build relationships with people and really kind of be partners with them in helping their children and helping their family. And so what happens is you get connected to the home visitor, and then the home visitor and the parent figure out a time where they can meet every week for about 90 minutes. And they will meet together and they will do activities with the parent and the child together. And they'll also spend some time specifically on parenting time. So it can be helping with resources, helping with parenting, whatever the parent is really needing that week. And then about 3 times a month, all of our home-based families are invited to come into the classroom site and have what we call a school time socialization. So the whole family is invited to come in with other families who are enrolled in the home-based program and kind of get a feel for what a classroom is like. For some of those kids that might be getting ready to go to a preschool program, they can kind of see what a preschool program looks like. So kind of transitioning them and then doing activities together. They have a snack, they do a circle time, they set up some learning activities in the classroom. So it's really a fun opportunity to kind of balance some of that group time with individual time. And then in the Mankato area, we have 2 different center-based options. We have a 4-day center program that meets Monday through Thursday in the classroom. There's no home visiting connected to that. Those classes are 3.5 hours long. There is a morning and an afternoon class available. And then when children come to Head Start, they are always fed. So morning class kids eat breakfast and lunch. Kids who come for the afternoon are arriving right around lunchtime. So they're having lunch and then a snack before they go home. And for that 4-day, we call it our half-day program. Sometimes we have a Head Start bus for that. We have 3 buses. As of right now today, I think we only have 2 bus drivers. So if you know of anybody who wants to drive a Head Start bus, you could send them to us. We try to get as many kids as possible to be offered transportation. So if a family doesn't have a vehicle or they don't have a way to get their child to school, or their child is in daycare, but they also want them to attend Head Start, we try to kind of prioritize those kiddos and get as many people as we can onto those buses. We do have a limit to how many kids can sit on the bus, and we do have a limit to how many minutes children can be on the bus. We also have a classroom aide who will be in the classroom with those children at school, but who will also ride the bus with them so that they can help them buckle their seatbelts and sign in and sign out with parents and things like that. The other option we have in Mankato and some of the outlying areas as well, other counties, is our 5-day center program. That's been kind of a slow transition, rolling some of those programs out to each county. Those programs meet Monday through Friday, so they're every day of the week. And the classes are 6.5 hours long. It's very similar to like an elementary school kindergarten day. Here in Mankato, that class meets from 8:15 in the morning until 2:45 in the afternoon. Because kids are here for so long, we serve them breakfast when they get here in the morning, we serve them lunch in the middle of the day, and we serve them snack at the end of the day. That program does not have a bus option in any of the counties. The 5-day program is all parent transportation, and parents need to be able to get their kids to school and from school every day. The only exception to that would be children who are maybe on an IEP and get district transportation from their local school district, but Head Start is not providing that transportation. And then, okay, so now you know a little bit about Head Start. You can ask me some questions too, but if you have a family that wants to apply for Head Start or do an intake and get connected to a Head Start program, I would say the easiest way is for them to call one of our programs to get connected to a family advocate like myself or a home visitor, because we can all do applications and we can all answer questions about Head Start. So if you are working with a family or if you know someone in the Mankato, North Mankato area, and that would include Eagle Lake, Madison Lake, and St. Clair, you can call the numbers that I have on there to get a family advocate or a home visitor. If you are anywhere else in Blue Earth County, I also have the number there for our Mapleton home visitor. She generally does those applications for anywhere outside of the kind of greater Mankato area. But families in any county throughout our 9-county reach can also do what we call a pre-application online on our website. And I did post the link there, and I'll send the PowerPoint to Emily, and she can forward that out to everyone as well. Families will still need to have a face-to-face with probably with a family advocate or with a home visitor to finish some of the papers. We need actual signatures on paper, and there's some income documentation that we need to gather as well. So they'll still need to do that, but it can kind of cut back on some of the time and get them through some of that basic family member household information gathering. And then if you apply online, it will ask you your location and it will direct it to the right family advocate. And then we will call them instead of them having to try to find a phone number and call us. So that is kind of handy. And then if you have a person who you think, well, I think they would benefit from Head Start, but they're probably never going to call and they're never going to go online to fill things out, which happens because that can be scary for some people. You can have them call me. In the Mankato area, I am the point person for referrals. So that is my name and number. I am a family advocate. You can call my office number. You can call my mobile number. That's a work Google Voice number, so you can feel free to give that to families. I've had people text me to start an application, and that's fine too. I do all the things. I had teenagers not so long ago, so I know the stuff. Or they can email me. I'm really open to whatever method of communication families are most comfortable communicating in, because I'm about learning how to make it easier for them to contact me so that we can get more services to more people. And that is like the speedy nutshell version of Head Start. So if you have questions for me, feel free to throw them at me. I am going to stop this screen sharing because those are all the pictures I have available. But does anyone have any questions or thoughts or feedback that they want to share? Because I'm ready.
I have a question while another person thinks of it. You mentioned like the family circumstances that if they're on public assistance, that would likely make them eligible. Does that fall under participants that are income eligible, or would that be one of those, like you mentioned, 25 or 10% exceptions, like public assistance? Does that make them income eligible or not? To clarify the question.
So if they are getting any kind of public assistance, and SNAP is kind of new for us, and it's opened the door for some folks who might not otherwise qualify under income because their income threshold is a little bit higher than ours. Right. But if they're getting any of those, what we consider public assistance programs, they are considered to be income eligible. They are 100% eligible. And that eligibility is actually good for 2 years.
Okay.
So we wouldn't have to re-verify. I always tell people you can apply one day and be income eligible. And if next week you win the lottery, you are still eligible for Head Start for 2 years, because it's just a snapshot of the day that you take the application, is what determines if you're eligible or not.
Okay. Thank you. That answers my question.
Yeah. If you're over income and something changes, we can also go back and relook at that and just adjust the income. So I've had families who were over income, but who were going to apply for SNAP. And I tell them, if you apply and you get accepted, make sure you let me know, because then I can re-verify, and that will bump folks up on our wait list. Which is something I forgot to put in that PowerPoint, is that we do accept applications all year long. So we never stop taking applications. And if our programs are full, we will just create a wait list, because we always want to be able to fill a program opening in days, not weeks. So if someone moves out of the area and drops on Thursday, by Friday, we could be reaching out to a new family and saying, hey, we have an opening, are you interested? And getting them started the next week already, if all of the parts fall into place. So
thank you. We have a couple eligibility or caseworkers that work with like SNAP and MVAC on our call today. So I just wanted to clarify, if they have somebody that they could verify public assistance, does that make somebody income eligible? So
and actually, if you're working with a family and you are like their financial worker and they're eligible, with their permission, of course, you could also do a referral to me and include that information. And then when I reach out to them, I'd already have it. So you could say this person is active on this program, and then that would be what we call third-party verification. So we'd already have that eligibility piece answered. But then we also can give them priority for being a referral from a county office or from another program, because our wait list is not first come, first serve. So if you call Tuesday, someone calls Wednesday, someone calls Thursday, it doesn't go in that order. All of our applications are prioritized. So you get like priority points for your age, for your family circumstance, the child's age, your family circumstance, and any of those kinds of other things, because the goal is always to serve the families with the highest needs first. Serve as many people as possible, but get the ones that have the highest needs connected to the service first. And then this year we started something new. We have, it's a newsletter that we're sending out to everyone on our wait list. So they will still be getting information and activities and things at least once a month while they're waiting to get started in an actual program. And that's throughout the 9-county area. So.
Perfect. Well, thank you so much. Does anyone else have questions for Katie? You were very thorough, so that's all.
I tried. Yeah. I wasn't sure if everyone could make it to the meeting, and I wanted to make sure what was in the PowerPoint could go out to other people
for sure
and cover most everything. So
yeah. If nobody has questions, then we can go into a round table. And Katie, you're welcome to stay on the call, or if you have another meeting, you can always, take off if you need to, but it's always nice to hear about other agencies as well. So you're welcome to stay on the call. Anybody have some agency updates at all, or program changes they'd like to share today?
We have reopened the North Mankato office for Nicollet County Services, Health and Human Services. It was closed for months for renovations, and it's brand spanking new and just opened on Monday.
That's exciting. Thank you for that update.
And Katie, I don't do families, so I'm like the least likely of our eligibility team for hearing your presentation, but I'll pass that along. And the clients can ask us also to verify their public assistance, so that we can send you that. If we don't make the referral, then they say something, you can still, you can ask us to verify that.
Yep, we do actually have a form that we usually have folks sign, and then we have contacts in the different county offices that we can send to. And in some of our counties, MVAC actually helps administer MFIP or get people enrolled in MFIP. So for some counties, I can reach out to our MVAC offices as well. So that's really helpful. But the county workers have been amazing at getting those back to us in all the counties. And we appreciate that.
Yeah, thank you for that update. And I will send a follow-up email after this meeting with the link to the recording and then any handouts anyone has to share and any other updates that are shared. I try to summarize a little bit. So
hi everyone. I have just a quick update. We have our expo tomorrow, Vine Faith in Action, and we have around 63 different booths, anywhere from MVAC, Blue Earth County Library, we have Mayo Clinic, Mankato Clinic, all different kind of places. It's going to be a lot of fun, so please stop by tomorrow between 1 and 4. And if you have any questions, just give us a call.
perfect. And where is that located?
That's going to be 421 East Hickory Street, where I always tell people our building is right in the middle between Blue Earth County and the courthouse. So you can't miss the building.
So right at Vine.
Yes.
Perfect. Okay, awesome.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Hi, Nicole from Legal Services here. I just want to throw out if either your staff, your clients, yourselves are looking for more information about our services or about a specific legal topic that maybe your clients or parents are coming to you about, we can present to staffs, to your clients. You can get in touch with me or anyone at Smurls and we can arrange a time that works for you to go ahead and do that. And one other thing I want to mention is we lost a housing attorney within the last couple of weeks who went to a different job. So our capacity is limited. So we are not doing Social Security applications right now. We're referring people to Social Security Administration or, someone else to help with that application. But we are still looking at appeals. So if you have clients who are denied, refer them to us. But if they need to apply, we're going to refer them to Social Security. And Social Security does have a new online application form that they're doing. So I'm sure you've heard from clients or parents that they call and nobody answers the phone, they get hung up on, whatever the case may be. So Social Security set up sort of a like a pre-filing form almost. Someone can go online, put in their information, and that'll set their filing date, and Social Security is supposed to call them back and schedule an appointment to finish the application. So hopefully that helps with that issue of having to sit, on hold or wait in line downstairs from, here we're in the same building as the Social Security office here in Mankato. So we are, and we are willing, if clients are unable, we are willing to help them at least with that form so that they can get sort of that application in the pipeline. But I think I have presented to this group before about us doing applications. So I just wanted to note, because of capacity concerns, we're just focusing on the appeals right now.
Thank you for that update. And yeah, there's some other agencies as well, like disability specialists and Rattan Law, who can help with those first-time applications. So some alternate options, but that is good to know about the appeals for sure. And I can definitely note that in our follow-up email as well. Thank you.
Thank you.
Hi, I'm Sheila from Minnesota Valley Action Council. I did forward my information to Emily. I work with the Energy Assistance Program. The applications are available, however, the money is not available. So we are taking applications. What I sent to Emily was a fact sheet, a blank application, and a poster. So if you want to put that up in your offices and share the information, we are not expecting any money for the energy assistance program until at least Thanksgiving. So we are telling households that they need to call because they're still shutting off, that they need to call and negotiate payment arrangements with their vendors. Our income guidelines during COVID had gone up, and so did the amount of money that we had for primary heat grants and also for the crisis. And those are going back to pre-COVID guidelines. So it's going to be an interesting year for us. We won't have as much money as we did during COVID, but well, we're just going to hang on for the ride. So thank you.
Yes, I will definitely share those. I actually had the fact sheet pulled up in case you weren't present today. So I have that ready to go. I'll send that. And then just a note that people can apply through May 31st of 2023. So, and correct me if I'm wrong, but the sooner they apply, the higher up on the wait list they go. So even though we don't have money right now, the sooner somebody applies, the quicker that they could get help once we do get funding. So that's always
Yes.
a good reminder, but I will definitely send that out. Looks like we got an update from Smurls that they can look at a utility shutoff issue if needed, particularly if the utility denies a payment plan. So thank you for that.
Thank you.
Partnering together. That's always awesome to make those new connections. So thank you so much. Any other agencies here that have any updates? And that's okay if you don't. It's always nice just to tune in and listen to. We don't always have updates, so but I just thought I'd ask another time.
I'll just add one more plug for I know I presented about Head Start, but also we do actually have some current openings in our Mankato program right now for our center-based kiddos. So we do have some spots for kids that, you know, if they're eligible, could actually get in and start right away without having to wait for those kids that are 3 to 5, if you know of anyone.
Perfect. Yeah, I can give an update too. I just thought I'd let you all know, since again, we all work with people that might be job searching or what have you. And MVAC is hiring for quite a few positions right now. There's a variety of Head Start positions, a couple accounting positions, a family resource specialist position working with youth and adults on employment and training, weatherization carpenter position. I think, I'm not sure if I mentioned a bus driver for Head Start, as well as a food assistant and administrative specialist. So if you've got clients looking for jobs that have some experience in those areas or are interested in learning, you can definitely have them connect with us and see about setting up an interview if they'd be eligible. Also, our adult and dislocated worker programs are still accepting referrals if you have participants who need help going on for a certification or up to a 2-year degree, or up, the final 2 years towards a bachelor's degree, for example, is also an option. So if you have anyone interested in those in-demand occupation fields, or if you have questions about that, I'd love to talk more. Otherwise, there is a prior presentation we did on that program, as well as information on our website. There are a couple info sessions for participants to sign up for. The next two that Career Force is holding are on October 3rd and October 17th from 9 to 11. I believe they're going to be holding 2 info sessions every month the rest of the year, and a participant just needs to have a Minnesota Works account, and they register right through that website, or they can call the Mankato Career Force 507-344-2622, and they can get help with signing up for one of those sessions if they're interested in learning more, and the eligibility workers will work with them to see if they're eligible, and then once enrolled, they'd get transferred to their respective MVAC counselor for training options. So just thought I'd mention that, and I think the other programs I had made a note for have already been talked about. So awesome. Any other programs? I'll ask one more time. Otherwise, thank you so much for your time today. Again, my name is Emily. I think I forgot to say that in the beginning, but I'm with Minnesota Valley Action Council. I hold the Blue Earth Nicollet County networking meetings just to help us connect and learn about some resources. I'll send a follow-up email Vine mentioned they have that resource fair tomorrow, so I'll be sure to try to get this email sent shortly here to everyone. And if you have any flyers or resources you want shared with the group after, I can definitely send that forward. And I will update you guys. Again, I don't, I'm gonna think over if it would be preferable for individuals to move our meeting to the second Wednesday, or if we want to just keep it as is. So I'm going to see if I can figure out how to set up a poll just to make sure I'm not changing the meeting, and if people like it at this time instead, works perfectly fine. But I will send an update about that at a later date as well. I forgot to mention our next guest speaker in December is Vine, and it will be on December 14th, as decided last session or last meeting, to avoid that holiday week. So again, let me just double check here. Yes, December 14th, it's a Wednesday, 1 p.m. and Vine is our guest speaker. But yeah, any last thoughts or final updates?
I do have a question for Katie. Katie, I know you mentioned the qualification for people, or the eligibility for people, and this is gonna be a weird question, but I just thought I'd throw it out. Do you think people or people without documents, without legal documents, can they still use some of those services? And my next question would be, would you have interpreters available if there are families who do not speak English?
Those are good questions. So we don't require proof of citizenship in any way. So if you are an undocumented person, that's fine. I've done a few applications for folks in that situation. And so in that case, sometimes the eligibility gets a little bit tricky, because if they don't have any earned income and they're not participating in any services, we do have the option of a self-declaration of income, because in our performance standards, which is the Head Start rules, we can't ask a family to do something that would cause danger or harm to themselves. So we can't force them to go get documentation of cash wages if it's going to put them in danger. And we don't ask if you're a legal citizen or not. As far as the interpreter piece goes, we don't have interpreters on staff the way the public school system does. We are fortunate enough at our different locations throughout the 9 counties to have some staff who are bilingual. So I know that here in Mankato, we do have people on staff who speak Spanish, Arabic, and Somali. And those are probably Somali and Arabic are the two that we hear the most. And then I know that other advocates like myself probably do the same thing. When I meet a family, or when I work with someone who I find out is bilingual, I always ask them if they would be willing to help me out in the future. And we can pay interpreters like as a on call just for the time they're working. There's a form we fill out and we can issue payments for that. So we try to keep a list on the ready. Some languages are harder than others, but usually Somali and Spanish are pretty easy to come by, because we have people for those. Arabic as well for our location. Some of the other Nur and Aniwak and some of those other dialects are a little bit trickier, but we do the best we can, and it usually works out. So
Thank you, Katie.
Yeah.
Thank you so much.
Those were great questions. Thank you for bringing them up. Any other final thoughts or questions today? Otherwise, thank you so much for your time. I really appreciate it. Yeah. Did you have a question? Nope. Okay. Thank you so much for your time today. If anyone has anything that they'd like to share or needs information, I'm always happy to get you in contact with our guest speaker at a later date or try to track down those resources for you. But I will follow up with an email. You're welcome to invite other colleagues to this meeting. It's really just whoever is able to join, interested in joining, and has time in their day. So we just love to connect with other programs and get resources out there for our participants. So yeah, thank you and have a great day. And I will send that follow-up email by the end of today, hopefully. So,
Thanks, Emily.
Okay.
yeah, no problem. Take care.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye, everyone.